Hi, my name is Iris, and I'm the business coordinator for Barcoding Canada and part of the dream team here for marketing at Barcoding Inc. Barcoding Canada is a supply chain automation innovation company here to keep your business efficient, accurate, and connected. With me today is Monty from Zebra Technologies, and while we collaborated with Zebra many times, I feel they don't really need any intros, but it's always good for those who are just joining us and their first time to the channel. So Zebra is a mobile computer company specializing in technology used to sense, analyze, and act in real time, a true innovator in the supply chain industry, and we're always lucky to make content with subject matter experts like Monty. So Monty, for the audience, can you please introduce yourself?
Hey, Monty Lucas. I am an RFID solutions executive for Zebra. What does that entail? Mostly in the US, I handle a lot of retail accounts, but in Canada, I handle everything. So if it's government, if it's healthcare, retail, obviously, manufacturing, transportation, logistics. So I cover the full range of our product set all across Canada. The nice part is, I see a huge amount of growth in Canada over the last year and a half since they've given me Canada. So maybe it's part of my traveling up here on a regular basis and working with our partners, valued partners and accounts. But the biggest thing is I'm very myopic about RFID. We have local account managers who are in charge, like the quarterbacks of our football team, into each of the accounts. We have our partner set, and the value from them is they bring the total solution. So our account managers would work with our partners, and then they make sure at the end of the day the customer's happy. I'm involved in RFID, so I'm myopic and I only see RFID, which is cool for me because I've done it for about 25 years.
So I would say, Monty, you are a supply chain geek.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're a supply chain geek. I'm a supply chain geek. And statistics show that we're cooler than non-supply chain geeks.
And I
So
actually wear glasses too. I just have on for this, but yeah, I've got
so
a
if you
legit.
want to be cool like Monty and myself, you want to subscribe and like this video for more content from Zebra and from our partners and for anything supply chain. So let's get to it. It's called Supply Chain Kitchen, and we're actually kind of talking about something related to food, but not just food, medication, chemicals, you name it. So today we're lucky to have Monty go over how you can revolutionize your cold chain and supply chain with Zebra's electronic temperature sensors. And high level, Monty, just give us a small breakdown.
I mean, literally, we do multiple types of technologies. We can take disparate technologies and we can put them together using software because we don't care where the signals come from. So the nice part of it is within, say, the food chain. Food chain is a heavy concentration for us right now. In the US, we have food laws coming into play in the next couple of years, so everybody's preparing for those. But moreover, everyone's asking questions these days. It's not just about processed food, it's about what's the health of the food, right? Expiration dates were a minimum requirement in the past, and now being able to track accurately backwards within the supply chain for food has become huge. So it's only going to get better information wise. So if you talk about being a supply chain geek for food, absolutely. You have products now, and there's, say, active RFID that has a battery inside that actually is set for a chirp mode, or it's set to say this is who I am every so often. That's a wonderful tool for food right now because it allows us to use, say, Bluetooth technology, right, and pull that down using Bluetooth. Now, as it relates to passive, we are now taking the temperature tags that we've always done in the past and printed out into our RFID or our regular printers, and we're now upgrading that into doing RFID as well. So those will be the next rate of or range of products, if you will, that come across the board. And the nice part is that it's all about getting information back to the network now, right? So you have lots of data inputs that are available within the industry these days, but very few people have access to that information. So ultimately, you're going to see a lot more of the food traceability, food trackability, initiatives that are out there. There are some major restaurants out there that have been working on this for 2, 3 years already.
Well, for Canadians too, it's more important than ever to stay compliant, especially in the food industry. We have seen so many recalls, like from what I've seen on Ontario, from grocery chains, for example. So brand loyalty can already be so easily shaken. And then you add these recalls to it, you're losing customers, right? And, you know, there are 35 billion in losses for pharmaceutical industries alone due to disrupted cold chain. So not only does poor cold chain have an economical impact, but also potential um, detrimental to health of the population. So, everything you spoke about, Monty, it's so important that if it hasn't been implemented or it hasn't been thought about, or if you're not on the path to digitalization, you're really losing out, right?
Yeah.
So, can you explain zebra sensing technologies briefly and what the portfolio entails?
Well, as the portfolio is being built, currently, I can't divulge a lot of information, but what I would say is watch us over the next 6 months, and you'll be very pleasantly surprised. Like I said, the current temp labels that are actually printed through our printers will be electronic very soon. And the nice part of that is then you can ask for information across the supply chain. It's not visual anymore. It's not even a barcode scan, right? It's an RFID interrogation. So it goes in the back door of a restaurant, right? And because it's been marked early on in the supply chain by the food, meat processor, whoever it's going to be, then as it goes through the back of the restaurant, it flags it immediately and says, you're good to go, or pull this aside, we've had a recall. So that alone is going to keep a lot of the liability down within food. But moreover, you're going to get fresher food and you're going to get it faster, and it's going to be reported on a regular basis. So it's not just the check of an expiration date, right? And it's not just looking at a color change on a label. It's gone from blue to red, which says it's out of temperature range. It's actually reporting back through a network, and it's reporting back to the owner of the information, but more importantly, then it'll be trackable across the industry. So as we see these things, we try to develop around them. Zebra has made 6 acquisitions over the last couple of years, and the nice part of it is Temp Time Technologies, was one of our acquisitions. So I know we could probably get one of their people on one of the future shows to talk a little bit more about what they do, but they do huge amounts of tracking across the pharma supply chain, right? So now you've got food and now you've got pharma. These things all have temperature thresholds that they have to remain in. And the thing is once we make it digital, then everybody has access to that information. Make sense?
Yeah, it does. So when we recommend technologies like the sensing solutions that Zebra makes to our customers, the number one topic that they come back at us is the cost. And from everything you've said, to me, it's already such a good investment. But what makes it truly a cost-effective solution for supply chain?
I think what makes it cost effective is looking at the backside of the supply chain. Sure, it may only be a $1.50 hamburger, but it's protecting the meat or protecting the buns along the way, marking them as units because they're all produced as lots. They may end up as individuals sold that way, but they're produced as lots. So tracking it as lots when they are made individuals, it's marking a case of something, whether it's chicken, hamburger, whatever it's going to be. And then it's like I said, it's not just about that temperature threshold anymore. It's about tell me what you are, how you are, why you are, getting that actionable information and the current disposition. That is paramount for the industry.
No, completely agreed. So in terms of, you talked about data. So in terms of visibility and data, what type of data can it provide to the owner or to whoever is monitoring this? And how does it affect the health of temperature sensitive products like medicine and food?
Well, the data that it starts as and how it's marked is a lot of the companies, the really all the companies are following these GS1 standards these days, right? So the GS1 standards has different breakdowns for food versus pharma versus everything else. And then on the front side of that now, because of say RFID, every item, not just a class or a SKU or a product number, but every individual item has a serial number. So every serialized, which makes it even more trackable. So then you're going individual item to the case, to the lot, to the pallet, right? And everything can be seen so much more quickly. So that's it. It's defining the numbering mechanism, right, or the schema as we call it, and then applying that across the industry. So then it can be taken advantage of.
Yeah, and we have a lot of talk about FSMA 204, and that
Yep.
type of visibility is gonna save a lot of people and headaches. I mean the headaches in the industry, right? And I know FSMA 204 is not in Canada, it's a United States thing. But you
Yeah.
know what our neighbors in the South do? It's gonna come back up north. I'm just saying, you just watch, it's gonna be a thing.
Well, food safety is as good as it is for consumers. It's as good for companies and producers. It allows them to quickly make decisions, right? Like,
That's right.
I hate it when we have a peanut butter recall because I love peanut butter, right? The problem is my favorite peanut butter has had 3 recalls and I've had to switch eating, a different brand. But and you get into that, but it's so much better if they understand it up front because it's so much quicker for them to pull products and then they can identify exactly where their products went, if they're still in transit or if they're actually at location and need to be pulled quickly from the shelves based on, sure, they were saying lot numbers and then they were publishing the lot number. Now it's electronic, right? Now it's
Hmm.
really, truly actionable within the supply chain. So yeah,
Yeah, and for barcoding/barcoding Canada customers who are watching this, I feel like this solution can have an immediate impact once implemented. Would you agree?
absolutely. And I see barcoding, specifically barcoding Canada, doing more for the supply chain and for the solutions than a lot of other partners that are out there. And not just to publicize it as, you get a shout out for your show here, but really stretching to say we see this, we see the future. We're going in multiple multiple solution areas. We're going in multiple vertical markets, and that's exciting to see. So yes, so I have to give you congratulations for that.
Well, thank you. And in this day and age, when your attention span is the immediate impact is what truly matters. And we get that at Barcoding Canada, barcoding, and I'm sure you guys at Zebra, you create technology to have that type of impact. So speaking of technology and impact, can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek on, what's coming up next with sensing technology? I know you can't release everything, but just a
Right.
sneak peek.
Big things for us, the actionable supply chain, overall visibility, taking a lot of the disparate solutions that are out there right now and making sense into them. We've got a huge new release we're doing with ServiceNow across the board, which ServiceNow is an actionable asset intelligence company. So we'll take our device level stuff, we'll build it into our network with our software, and our software is set up that we can do zones, we can do a lot of different variables inside it. And then all we do is we've certified an interface with ServiceNow that we pass information over to them. So if they're doing, say, an IT asset management project, everyone is trying to find a better way to manage their assets, then literally they can take that from us and they've got the actionable data by timestamp, by date, by where it's been, and then they can take that and build that into their service strategy. So that's important, right? Anything that is done on the verticals right now, if you look at oil and gas, hugely important right now. So a lot of people headed in that direction because they don't have the best of automated solutions. They've got a lot of technology that's been applied. Now they have to really go to the solution level. Other things that we're working on, I mean, we are still giving retailers, the best visibility around. And that's the cool part. I can go into a DC, I can go into a store. We're working with several retailers here in Canada, as a matter of fact, and we have put our visibility systems into their stores. and the visibility system is called Smart Lens. And what it is labor is killing everyone right now. We have to find a more efficient use of labor. So hence, sometimes not just having the RFID handheld is important, because you can go out using a Geiger counter application to find what you're looking for. What becomes more important is sensing on movement. So we have overhead systems that we have developed, a snap system for a store, or an ATR system for say a manufacturing complex or DC. But what they do is they monitor the movement of passive RFID. And passive RFID does not have batteries, so it takes really smart, really focused type technology to do that. And I know I have worked with barcoding several times on these projects. And once again, kudos, because you guys take this and you run with it, which is very refreshing. So the thing is now to be able to say, I saw the tag on an item that came through the back door at the store. I saw it move through the store. Oh, it just came out on the floor. Now it's available to sell, right? Oh, and now it's on the floor and it's getting movement from department to department, and being able to define that and do something with it. And then finally at POS, when it goes through the POS system, is it approved to be purchased, right? And then it walks out the door and everything's cool, or was it not approved to be purchased? And then it moves over into the shrink category and something has to be done immediately. So with the BOPUS, or the buy online, pay in store, another huge thing, you want to know you can sell down to the last item in your inventory. Very important. I've ordered several things online and shown up at a store and they weren't there. So what happens is you can sell deeper into your inventory if you have more accurate inventory. What we have found is we're 97, 98, 99% accurate with these overhead RFID visibility systems. So there are so many things. So you're starting at temperature, that's a vertical. You're going now to oil and gas. You're moving all the way in through retail, and then manufacturing, transportation, logistics. RFID and technology are everywhere. They permeate our lives now. So to find the best, most reliable use for those, and maybe not putting a handheld in someone's hand all the time, but saying, we're going to see this from a bigger visibility level, so I can focus my labor in manufacturing on the right areas, right? I can put them into my troubled spots to make sure we're getting things done there. I don't have to worry about cycle counting. I've reduced my cycle counting by 96% just by utilizing RFID properly, across my store or across my warehouse. Those are important things.
Right. And, I think everybody on this channel, subscribers and watchers and so forth, are a huge fan of RFID. So speaking of RFID, what else is new in the RFID technology?
It seems like since we've made so many acquisitions, Zebra's a $6 billion company now. And with all the different acquisitions, I literally spend a greater segment of my time these days trying to stay versed in what the other divisions are doing that we brought on. We have a robotics division that we brought on, right? So we can send robots out to carry dunnage through a warehouse, right? Or they can go out and they can survey a floor, or they can do an RFID cycle count. There are different things that they're used for, but we're finding more and more that we are really truly getting into that. We get into the fixed imaging and scanning market. So once again, it's taking the vision of what Zebra has been able to do through our acquisitions, and then taking those out to the market and then creating total solutions based on that.
Awesome. So, we can't say this is Supply Chain Kitchen without something fun and food related. So my question is, what are your top tier free favorite foods? You mentioned peanut butter, so you can't mention that again. So if
Right.
these free foods were recalled, what would devastate you the most? Those top free
Oh
foods,
gosh.
go.
Well, one of them has peanut butter inside it, so I guess I'd be allowed to use that. It's called a nutty bar. Nutty bars, love nutty bars. Yep. And so love nutty bars. Yogurt. I'm a huge yogurt fan, right? And then you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I'm a broccoli nerd as well. Love
Broccoli
broccoli.
nerd.
I do. I love broccoli. I love Brussels sprouts. I make it for my wife, my daughter, my granddaughter. My granddaughter knows what Gampi broccoli is now, so I just make it with a good content of butter, real butter, yeah. And I just, you love the basics, although my nutty bars are not a basic, but if there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm going to be stocking up on nutty bars and growing
So,
broccoli. Yeah.
so you see, when you talk about recalls and when all these things are missing, it might as well be a zombie apocalypse, right? Would you agree?
Yeah. Could be.
It could be. So, when it comes to food safety, when it comes to traceability, visibility, and data, you got the best partners here, Zebra, Barcoding Canada. We
Yeah,
are longtime partners, we're premium partners, and we will work together to solve
absolutely.
any kind of supply chain needs you have, cold chain, supply chain, basically, any problems you have, we're out there solving customer problems, we're solving problems related to labor shortages, right? That's all over. You can't turn on the news or, any kind of business segment without, oh, labor shortage. And we have solutions for that, be it automation, be it RFID, just be it devices from hardware to software. We got it and we got your back. Right, Monty?
Absolutely.
So don't let those nutty bars, be recalled. Don't have problems with your broccoli and have those recalled because then you'll make people like Monty and myself be quite sad. So reach out. And if you like content like this, subscribe and like. Like I said in the beginning, supply chain geeks are 95% cooler than most other types of geeks. So just subscribe. Monty, thank you so much.
Hey,
And
you're
we're
welcome.
always super glad to have Zebra join us. So until next time, we'll see you in the next
Appreciate it.
one.
Thank you. Maybe I'll bring a
Thank
clip of
you.
my rock band back next time. So,
You should. Thank
cool.
you.